Hey everybody, it's Peter, and this is actually day 9 of the Savvy Sexy Social Veda vlog every day in April. I did this back in August, where actually I didn't end up blogging every day. I ended up blogging every other day or every third day because, you got to be in the mood, this kind of thing. It isn't the easiest thing, and if things get in the way, if your schedule conflicts, or you're doing stuff, sometimes it's hard to get into all this. So I figured what I'll just do is, I was going to do this a couple of days ago, but haven't been feeling up to it also this last week too. It's been a bit busy. Haven't been taking care of my mother a bit. She had to go to for a procedure the other day, so been looking in on her and taking care of things. So that's been sort of biting into my schedule. So we're just going to go through them as quick as we can, one at a time. There's actually 9 topics to go through. So we'll start at what was day 1, which was basically April Fools, yeehaw, and tell us a bit about yourself. April Fools, not a fan of April Fools. I mean, I do like things that are funny or not, but a lot of the April Fools jokes I saw from YouTubers were just basically, ha ha ha, I made a joke, and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't funny. Like one of the voice artists I follow, she was saying, "Oh, I lost my throat. I can't do voice acting anymore." And I was like, "Ha, I teased you. I wanted to be a mime." It's like that wasn't even funny at all. Some of the other jokes, or if anybody's in the tech realm, Linus from Linus Tech Tips, they did a joke. Oh, the server room caught on fire. Ha ha. No, we didn't. We actually just used a lighter and some hairspray or something, because they would say, why would I line the server room with something that was flammable? Joke. The other part of day 1 was tell us about yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a card up here to a video I did last time from last Veda, which was just basically checking out the man cave, which basically says a lot about me. In a nutshell, after high school, joined the Army, did that for about 7 years. I was a Cold War vet. That's the term I came up with. I did 2 years up in Northern Ontario. And then spent 5 years in southern Germany, waiting for the inevitable Russian horde that never happened. Happened in a lot of 80s movies, but nothing happened in real time. I'm also into computers, as you can tell. I am trying to still try doing vlogging, that sort of thing, but it's not as easy as it looks. And I sort of have a bad habit of getting all squirrel on things where I get really intense on something. I'll jump in on something and go like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then my direction goes the other way, and I go over there somewhere. And, oh, look at that, that's an interesting, that's nice and shiny, let's go over that way. So then I give up on it. Day 2's was, what is your favorite vacation spot? Well, I don't have a favorite vacation spot, and I haven't vacationed as much as I used to when I was younger. Like when I was 4, we went, I'm originally from Canada, born in downtown Toronto, but lived everywhere but Toronto. We've lived in the East End, on the West End. Now we're living in a place called Markham, which is now a city for several years now, I think. And that's just north of Toronto, which is great because you're sort of in a smaller kind of not country per se, but sort of a quieter area. And Toronto, if the traffic's good, you can get downtown in half an hour. If the traffic's busy, you need an hour plus. So I kind of like that idea. But throughout my life, I have traveled. When I was 4, we went to go to my father's family who lived outside of Vienna, and saw them for the first time. Didn't do too much. Then we went back again when I was 12. But we also toured around a lot of Germany because we have other relatives as well up in Hamburg. And had I forget how many great uncles it was on my grandfather, my mother's father's side. He was a monk in the Black Forest down in the southern region. We saw him, and he was like 80 plus years old. And luckily, we saw him because I think less than a year later he died. Other places I've gone to around the high school time, we had a couple of trips when I was in grade 9. There was a trip to go to a week to England, so that was kind of cool. I was also a bit of a geek. So Star Wars, it came out in 77. We went on our trip in 78. So the times we weren't doing the touristy thing and checking out places like Stonehenge, which I am surprised I didn't take a picture of, or if I did take a picture, I've lost it. On the downtime, I was spending my time finding the local theater and watching Star Wars for like 2-3 times when we weren't doing the touristy thing. And then the next year, I was in grade 10, and we went to Hawaii for a week. That was kind of interesting again. Then things got kind of quiet. Then I joined the Army. So then, I'm up north for a while, then lived in Germany for 5 years, like I said earlier. During that time, too, went to England twice. Actually, 3 times I went to England. Once on what we call adventure training. We just basically, ran around, hiked, my favorite thing. Saw the countryside. I met somebody there. I went back to visit them. They were up in Newcastle, which is basically not too far from the Scottish border. And then I went back again to England when my buddy has family over in the London and surrounding area, so we ran around there for a week. And I think the year before that, he came to visit me, and we ran around Germany for a while. So I've been doing quite a bit, up until the 90s. And then after that, didn't do any world traveling. Did mostly. My friend got the cottage bug after visiting my other best friend. His parents had a cottage up north, and we went there a couple of times. And my friend oh, this is really cool. And he started organizing. Every 5 years we go. So on the 5, so like 40, 45, 50, probably the next one will be 55. And we go somewhere up north for a week or an extra long weekend and hang out there and, carouse, drink, have fun. I do the cooking, that kind of thing. So yeah, it was kind of cool. Greatest mentor. Well, from last year, I would say Amy Schmidhauer. She got me back onto the vlogging wagon. I don't really think I have any other mentors per se. I usually look up to people, or I'm inspired by other people or celebrities or an actor or so. Or when you're a kid, oh, I want to be like so-and-so. So you sort of get that kind of inspiration there. But I would say currently it would be Amy and other YouTubers that I watch. Some of the guys who do computer setups or computer building, because that's one of my interests and hobbies. I did study it back in college. I went to college twice. I went to college and business college, both times working on my computer skills. So, and I just rebuilt my rig again to keep it nice and cool and soft and up and running, because I did have a minor crash in February. So, and then I got the bug of, why don't I just fix it all up, get a glass case, to see things and sort of trick it out so it looks, prettier and gnarly, and, you get all fast and furious with it. We're putting all the trick lighting and stuff like that too. So that was keeping me out of trouble, because I have been on hiatus for almost going on 2+ years now. I'm coordinating my work to get back, but it's a corporation I work for. I was working on the call center, and it was like 11 years of that just burnt me out. So the decision was I had to take a break. They gave me the time off, no pay. Basically had minor stress disorder, that kind of thing. My doctor called it PTSD, but I don't go by that because my Army buddies actually had PTSD. So I wasn't scared by exploding things and being shot at, but you're in a call center for a while. That will mess you up after a period of time, especially when it's day out, day in, same thing all the time. Metrics, push. It will wear and tear on a person's, ego, psyche, and being diabetic as well. Another fun fact. This all adds up, and it just will eventually knock the stuffing. Next one, what do I think about Mondays? I don't have anything to do about Mondays, because Monday means I have to go back to work. Now, if I had a fun job, which hopefully I can work on so I can have something fun to do before retirement, which is not too far down the road, it'd be great to do something that, like, hey, I have to go back to work. Wow, I don't mind that. And that's the trick. I was just talking with somebody about that the other day too. The trick of life is finding something that you really like to do. Hopefully you make good money at it. Question 5, day 5 was family, kids. Well, I have no kids. My life has sort of gone in a weird thing. That would be a video in itself. Just never found somebody to hook up with. It's hard enough for me to find a girlfriend. I'm a bit of an introvert at times, even though when I'm talking here I don't seem to be. When I do get in a role, the extrovert comes out more. So I'm a bit of a mix, but supposedly according to the what the 8-part test or whatever it's called, I'm a INTJ something, whatever. The letters will change for me, because most surveys and studies I usually pick a certain answer, and I am that, but not always. And I'm not totally introverted, but I do have my moments. I am initially shy in the beginning, but I do come forth. As the family, down to one parent. Again, that's a another story that'll be going on. Actually, my mother is trying to write her own bio because she actually did have an eventful life. Growing up in Europe during World War II and moving around. Her parents actually had an eventful life. Well, actually, we have an eventful, ancestry. And we don't have to go to ancestry.com. We actually, because of church records and the war, and previous family members actually did keep records of our family trees, so the family. And on their sides, we can go back to like 1750. We can go back 200 years when my ancestors first moved from a certain part of Germany all the way over, which is now Romania. At the time, it was the Austrian-Hungary Empire. How do you use your talents? Well, right now, one of my talents is blogging. And I mentioned earlier, I'm good with computers. I'm also good with building things. I'm basically a jack of all, master of none. I wish I had some of the skills like Adam Savage and, Jamie Hyman of the Mythbusters crew, and actually all the other 3 Mythbusters. Well, I do have some good building skills. I'm good at modding things or taking something and turning it into something else. But yeah, I do have one of these, the Gorilla mount, but this is actually part of a selfie stick. But the mount here is actually from a GoPro kit that came with a tripod and everything else. But the thing is, what I wanted to do is, because I couldn't find a smartphone mount to use as a camera and video, that came together. I figured, well, I already got a tripod. Why do I want to buy more stuff? I got extra redundancy. So I ended up buying this piece with the selfie stick, took that apart, took the mounting piece off of the GoPro, and it's all attached to here onto the Gorilla tripod. So I'm ready to go if I want to shoot with my camera. Question number 7, or for day 7, was spring and your thoughts. Spring's cool. I'm kind of like it. We got off pretty easy up in Toronto this year for the winter. We didn't get a lot of snow, not like the eastern seaboard of the U.S. or the east coast of Canada, who got totally hammered. I have a friend who lives in Prince Edward Island, who also does his own vlogging, and he got covered in snow. We just had snow Friday, like 2 centimeters, an inch for our American friends. Guys, go metric, okay? I'm getting tired of translating Celsius, Fahrenheit when I'm talking to people in America. Day 8, most adventurous thing that you ever did. Well, I've done quite a few adventurous things in my life. One of them was after school, join the Army. Actually, I was trying to go into the electronics trade. I wanted to, do avionics, learn how to maybe fix planes or something like that. But there was a waiting list for that, and I actually got talked into, if you go into another branch of the service, you can later on change and what they called remuster into another trade. Never happened. So they said, well, we have the combat arms, which is basically the Army, the infantry, the artillery, and I forget what else was available. And I thought, like, well, I did do the infantry for a little bit in the reserves in high school. I didn't like walking around. We didn't have any mechanized units in the Toronto area, so it's all foot soldiers. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not keen on walking or running. Artillery, 5-mile sniper. Do I want to just sit back and blow off a big gun and blow up stuff? What was the other adventurous thing I did? When I went back to college after the military, I went to go study. I did a computer graphics technical course with a co-op option, which was kind of hard because it was hard to find jobs back in the 90s. But one of the options was to go work up in Ottawa for a summer, and they liked, and I didn't have any. I learned how to do technical illustration, which is basically when you're looking at a book or you're seeing a parts breakdown in a manual of some sort, like what they call it, an explosion, where you see, well, here's all the parts at a 40-60 degree angle. That's what's called isometric. When you see somebody drawing a building and you're seeing, down this way, that's isometric. Or you're seeing something and there's an explosion of what's called an explosive diagram, where, well, that bolt comes in from here, so you see a little dashed line that shows you how to put things together. That's all part of that job. And I had done my own, hand drawings of when I used to play D&D and other games. I draw my characters. So, I have some, there's another talent I have some drawing skills. So that was an adventure, was get myself, I was told on Thursday or the Friday before the job started, you're going to start work on the Monday. If you can get yourself up to Ottawa, I'd never been up to Ottawa before, other than one time went for a visit when I was in the Army. We were living at a place called Petawawa, that's where the base was, and one time we did a couple of weekends that kind of thing. So, but never been to Ottawa per se. So it's like I had to like, okay, how do I get to Ottawa? Well, maybe I can find a YMCA or something, which I did. And it was a 4-month job. So I basically had to drive myself up on my gear, find a place on my own, which I had no idea. So I lucked out. Oh, there's the local Y, and actually it wasn't too far from the workplace. That was like one of the funnest jobs I ever had, because also it was a combination of learning a new skill, learned how to use, it wasn't an AutoCAD system, it was a specific CAD system, and I do believe the company is still around, but it's now made for PC, but this was more of a mainframe, old school computer. And I was teaching some of the people there some of the skills I had, and it was cool because I was out in the military and they were redoing some of the manuals, and I was actually being asked for my advice on something. So that was kind of a cool job to do. So, that was like to pick up everything and go and try to find a spot, and you're going to start working on Monday and then figure out what I was going to do myself. So that was a bit of an adventure for me. And taking the time off from work now, I mean, that's an adventure too when you figured, well, dude, I got to take time off. For now, it's a simple question. Do I volunteer my time? Unfortunately, I don't. Yeah, I think the only time I actually volunteered my time was when I first got in the Army and I got talked into doing Army Cadets. I tried actually joining what they call the civilian and non-civilian instructors. You can actually join and get a commission as an officer, and you can help train cadets. But there was a lot of politics I saw, which I didn't like. Yeah, so I'll leave it at there. Same thing doing the last VEDA. It's all about the mindset, that kind of thing. I mean, it sounds like, yeah, I thought, hey, I got this ace. I'll just do it. I've seen some people do it. They were doing like a 2-minute blurb. That's it. But the problem is I've done too much with myself. I have too many interests, too many hobbies, too many thoughts in my head to just specify. And I think that's an issue with my channel too. I was doing everything from my last video was building my computer, and I didn't want to go into a full build. I figured I'll just do a partial build. And I was doing things like back in the day, movie reviews, which that's dropped off. I did want to get into voice acting because when I was younger, it's kind of hard now because of my scratchy throat from one of my meds. It just messes up my larynx. Voice acting. I used to do impressions as a kid. I can do a few better ones now. Yeah, I've got too many things to sort of focus on, and I'm doing mostly vlogging for fun. I don't have a brand. I'm not running a business. I'm not looking for monetization. I'm just feel like, you know what? I just want to get my voice out there. And just a couple of quick points too before we wrap up. Last year I was going to post a video because I hit 25 subscribers. Woohoo! And then I think I'm up to 37 now since VEDA started. So hopefully doing some more videos again, I'll build up. Maybe I can hit 50 by the end of the month if I get off my ass and do this a bit more. But today I'm feeling a little bit better, a little bit more confident, and getting myself out there. So hopefully you all enjoyed this. And if you made it this far, good for you. And like everything else, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you really didn't like it, well, dislike. That's up to you. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of the silliness, and I will see you in the next one. Later.